Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Wow, there's a lot to go through. There's a lot to unpack. A really lot to unpack. So Base, layer 2, obviously on Ethereum, a lot of people are starting to wonder, like, how would Ethereum do without Base? And how well is Base doing? Can you say ridiculously well? Obviously, I think one of the reasons why Base does well is because Base is tied to Coinbase. It doesn't mean that every project initiated on Base is going to get listed, but it means that you probably do have an easier path. That said, Base has experienced a hell of a lot of success, I would say. I would say it just like that. And you've got to say to yourself, what is it offering you? It's not a coin, right? It's a development platform. And they've made that development platform very easy for people to get on and actually do things. That's what makes it big. That's actually what makes it big. So it makes you stop and wonder, where would Ethereum be, being that it is, since its Denkun upgrade, it has faltered tremendously. Not just a little bit, but a lot of bit. So, when I look at Base, I'm kind of like, well, if I was to develop a coin, right, would it be a meme coin? Not really. I'm not really interested in a meme coin, but a lot of people have asked me, hey, how come we don't have a coin, given everything that we do at Grow My Bag, in the community, which, by the way, the community is now over 10,000 strong. Thank you very much. There's a difference between having a bunch of subscribers and having a community. What we really have at Grow My Bag is a community. And we're doing a lot to support that community, and we're going to be doing a heck of a lot more. I keep saying it because I know what my team is doing, and I'm like giddy. I'm giddy on the inside. Even though Fed President Neil Kashkari is putting his ignorance or arrogance on full display for the world to see. And why do I say that? At a conference yesterday, he came out and said that the only reason why people use Bitcoin are for nefarious reasons. And I sat there and I read that and I was just like, are you kidding me? After all this time, that's what you get from it? Either you're ignorant, arrogant, haven't done the research, or you have to say stupid things like that. And we're talking about a really smart guy. You know what I mean? Like, if you follow his career, he's a really, really, really smart guy. So I can't believe that he would say something without having reason. Right? So all we have to do is figure out what's the reason behind you saying something like that. And just the level of ignorance on display with that just astounds, absolutely astounds. And I think what gets me the most is it's coming from a guy who's really smart. It's coming from a person that has access to an amount of data that the rest of us don't have access to. Or it would be easier for him to get to the information than it would be for us to get to certain information. But in terms of how it's being used, I wonder if he stopped and realized that, you could probably say that about a lot of fiat around the world. Think about that. A lot of the fiat around the world, you could actually say that about, right? Oh, there's a ton of nefarious things going on, with the use of, the rupee or the dollar or whatever, just whatever fiat, just swap the name. Swap the name. But he went beyond that to say, no, it's only mostly being used, like the percentage is higher for nefarious things. Dude, would you pay attention to just the inflows at BlackRock? Okay? Pay attention to the inflows at BlackRock alone. Pay attention to where you can actually use Bitcoin around the world and how that number is growing. I think that there's a group of people like him around the world that don't want to see the success of crypto. Just straight up, for whatever reason, don't want to see that success. Because played out in your head, the success of cryptocurrencies versus fiat around the world. You can kind of paint yourself a picture. You can kind of paint yourself a picture. And that's what I find to be, disconcerting, to say the least, that he would say something like that. Meanwhile, at the CFTC, I'm sorry, let me rewind. Meanwhile, at the SEC, they've approved options trading for 11 of the ETFs that are out there. Nefarious? Really? Thank you, sir. Thank you, Neil Kashkari, for putting your your motives are not on display, but the fact that there are ulterior motives is on full blast. Full blast. Now we just need to figure out what they are. Why would you say such a thing? Such a smart guy, access to such data, just why? What's the reasoning behind it? So that's something I'd like to understand. Then you have the CFTC Chair, Rostin Benham, another really smart guy, saying, hey, Congress, how about you do your job? That's literally, he's not saying it, verbatim like that, but he's kind of saying, hey, Congress, how about you do your freaking job and come up with some real regulation, some clarity in this space. It's not going away. It is growing. By leaps and by bounds, it's growing. And Congress, you're sitting on your butts doing nothing. Doing between jack and squat. We should stop to think about that. We should stop to actually say to ourselves, and it's not just when it comes to crypto regulation. It's about, do your job. If you're not going to do your job, resign. But you can't be in Congress just sitting on your hands doing nothing. I think that's my real message. But just looking at this one piece, I'm sitting back and I'm saying, yeah, why is that? Why am I seeing technology, unveiled in other countries that we don't have here in the United States? We absolutely have the capability for some of these technologies, some of these advancements. We can implement a lot of these things, but we don't, because of whatever reasons, and usually those reasons boil down to somebody needs to have their pockets lined. So what do? You go out and you buy a few Congress people. It's usually how it works. And that's why I love crypto, because it's not owned or controlled by any given state or country. That's why I love it so much. So yeah, Neil Kashkari, carry on, dude. Carry on. Live and wallow in that ignorance and or arrogance. It's not going anywhere. It's going to continue growing. You can either get on the train or get passed by the people that are on the train and become irrelevant. That's something to think about. That is something to think about. But the only good thing that he said was, he agrees with decreasing the Fed rates at a slower pace over a longer period of time. That I can understand. Maybe that's it. Maybe he is ignorant to how Bitcoin works, but he's brilliant at how the economy moves. That could actually be a thing. So there's that. And then you have Solana's price dropping. Why? Because about 40,000 additional SOL was sold by Pump.Fun, bringing their number to over 500,000, some crazy number like that. And I'm sitting back and I'm just saying to myself, could that have helped to keep Solana's price, down? Yeah, absolutely. But that can only happen but for so long. It can only happen but for so long. When you look at the artificial, let's call it, decrease in numbers by certain coins that are out there, that's going to be one of the reasons. But that can only happen but for so long, just like I said. And why is that? Well, that's because things are growing. There's too much pent up energy. Remember, I was talking like that just before we hit, a while before we hit the previous high of 69,000, right? I kept saying, there's too much pent up energy. There's too much pent up energy. And then what happened? That energy started being released and Bitcoin started rising. We hit a new all-time high. We came back down, but then it happened again and we hit an all-time high, another all-time high. It happened again recently. I'm talking about, past couple of weeks, too much pent up energy and some of it escapes and we come close to an all-time high. We came close to 70,000 and then we come back down, right? All on purpose. I can tell you, I can give you a scenario about how that can work. I can sell a good amount of coin on the open market, go to OTC, buy it back at a lower rate. I could do something like that easily, right? And then that of course, being sold on the open market would deflate prices. Okay. You've got to think about that. Those are real things. Those are real things that can happen. So that's a scenario where you can actually see how that happens, so that my holdings don't actually change, right? On the open market, I sell a few thousand. Over the counter, I go back and I buy a few thousand at a lower price, mind you. So I'm manipulating right there. And each time I do that cycle, I'm not just buying back what I sold. I'm buying back what I sold and more because it's at a lower price. I sell 100,000 worth. I buy back 100,000 worth. When the market goes down, I'm buying at that lower price. And I just keep going for a little while. That's how I can manipulate. It's one of the ways I can manipulate or be a part of the manipulation. Just saying. That could definitely be a thing. But Solana has definitely been pushed down by the sale of Sol, by Pump.Fun alone. And again, I'm going to say it's just going to explode. So when people look at me and they go, is it going to go back over 200 again? Absolutely. I don't even know how that's a question. When I look at, let me go over here. Here's Solana. It is 35.56% off its all-time high with a GMBX factor of 0.57x. Can it achieve the goal of hitting its all-time high of $259.96? Unequivocally, yes. Absolutely, yes. So there's that, right? Then you have Sushi unveiling, SushiSwap, unveiling their roadmap, and they want to be the most dominant DEX on the market. And they're in the position where they could be. They absolutely could be, and they want to make it so that you could swap anything and everything on SushiSwap. Bold, to say the least. Bold, to say the least. But I want you to stop and think about this. It's not bold out of arrogance or ignorance or, sheer bravado. It's, hey, we could actually make this happen. We have a plan to make this happen. We've given it thought. We've been in this business. We've been in this space for a while. We know what we're talking about. From a business perspective, they just put all the other DEXs out there on notice. We're coming for you. We're coming for the dominance. And I'm all about it, because that's another sign that this market is growing. Not going away, not being stifled, but growing. Just saying. Then you have Metaplanet. Metaplanet has raised over 10 billion, not million, billion with a B, yen to buy more Bitcoin. Mr. Kashkari, did you hear that? Just wondering. Just wondering if you were just out here reading the news like me, just going over things like me. Maybe you should become a member, become a big bagger. Come over here, become a big bagger. We'll get you news, we'll get you educated, all that good stuff. And then you can make some real good decisions. Whew, Lord of mercy. Then you've got VanEck introducing staking rewards for a Solana ETN in Europe. Tell me that's not positive news. Tell me that's not a big deal. It is. It absolutely is. And I want you to pay attention to what's going on in Europe, what's going on overseas that is not going on in the United States. Yeah. You start to put all that together and you start to sit back and go, oh, yeah, we've got a lot of growing to do, folks. There's a lot of room. There's a lot of room. Something else that made me smile, Chainlink. You know I love Chainlink. Chainlink launches a CCIP private transactions platform, cross-chain interoperability protocol. And the reason why they're doing this is to bring more security and privacy to institutional transactions. The world's largest oracle is bringing the noise. That's all I can say. They're bringing the noise. Right now, it's being piloted by the Australia and New Zealand Banking Group, otherwise known as ANZ. Yeah, that's not a joke. And it's specifically for cross-chain settlement of tokenized assets. I have a tokenized asset and it's over here on this chain, and this other group is doing business on this chain. We have a transaction that's going on, and we can actually settle that for you. Oof. Pay attention to the players that are in the settlement space. Pay attention to the players that are in the RWA space. Chainlink is saying we can handle your settlements in the tokenization space. Tokenization can and will be, or RWA, real world assets, will be the biggest piece of the Web3 space that's coming. That it will be by far. And what Chainlink is saying is, yeah, we're going to continue to be a part of that connective tissue that makes the world go round. Hat tip to the team over at Chainlink. You're making some real smart moves. Excuse me. You're making some real smart moves. So yeah, these are things that we should be paying attention to. You want to know what else we should be paying attention to? That's right. We should be paying attention to the numbers. So let's get there real quick. Let me ditch my notes. So we'll start with the Grow My Bag Crypto Tracker Top 25 Losers. And when you look at that list, you keep going down and the whole list, losers. So who do we have that we should be, aware of? Sui is down 7% to $1.94. It's got 18%. It's fallen 18% off its all-time high, which is $2.35. And it has a GMBX factor of 0.21x. Yeah, I'm not mad about that. Not mad about that. Not at all. Definitely profit taking, and I'm okay with that. You want to know why? I have another entry point. I have another entry point in Sui, and I can do that right now. What else do we have? We have Dog with Hat down 6%, right? GMBX factor of 0.97x, right? 49% off its all-time high. Yeah, I'm all about it. I'm down with that. Near Protocol is down 6%. Ondo's down 6%, respectively. 3.41x for Near Protocol, 0.95x for Ondo. Interesting. I've heard some people talk about Aerodrome Finance. Don't need it. I don't know how they're still in business. I know that's harsh. But it's true. You don't need Aerodrome. There are other companies that do. There are other DEXs that do what they do. So I don't know how strong they are. BitTensor is down 6%. Wormhole's down 6%. Hedera Hashgraph is down 6%. Do I think Hedera Hashgraph will make that 9.97x GMBX factor? Actually, I do. I do. You want to know why? Because it has done this before. So I'm kind of like the tech. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm in on Hedera. I'm definitely in on Hedera. BitTensor, I'm not in on, but can it do 0.37x? Yes, absolutely. Am I looking at there? It's only down 27% off its all-time high. Yeah, I'm seeing that too. I'm seeing that too. Just pay attention, folks. Pay attention. These are things that I'm very interested in. When you look at the winners only go down to right there. That's it. Those are all the winners. And out of the winners, Aptos is up 8%. It's only off by 45% off its all-time high with a 0.83 GMBX factor. GoatCS Maximus up again 15%, 0.29x. Wow. Stop there. There's nothing else that matters. Uniswap is at 5%, so that's it. You're just looking at the rhythm of that coin. Everything else, you're just looking at the rhythm of the coin, right? Chainlink hasn't moved yet because I don't think that news is hit. So much happens in the background with Chainlink that people don't pay attention to, and I'm just like, whatever. I'm down with Chainlink. I am down with Chainlink. What else do we have? Let's go over here. Earnings reports. We've got a lot of stuff coming in. Verizon, GE. Philip Morris. I mean, you've got a lot of companies reporting today. Fiserv is the technology company behind almost all the banks that are out there. They supply a lot of the software that are inside, I want to say 90% plus of the banks in the United States. Only a little less for all the banks around the world, percentage-wise. So pay attention. Again, we already went over this, and the big day is actually Thursday. Initial jobless claims, the U.S. services PMI, and the U.S. manufacturing PMI. Fear and greed index has dropped a little bit to 70. I don't know. I don't know that I'm upset about that. Not at all. $97.496 billion in total value locked. Is it interesting? I'm waiting for us to get to 100. Remember, there was a lot of money pulled back off of exchanges. A lot of Bitcoin pulled off of exchanges. Just saying. Just saying. And when I look at the sea of red, other people panic. I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, I'm going to use the GMB crypto tracker to help me size up this market. Because this market, all I see is opportunity. Look at SUI. Look at SUI, Ethereum, Bitcoin, BCH, BNB. I'm looking at all of these as real opportunities. Toncoin, only at still stagnant at 523. Oh yeah, I'm looking at all of these as an opportunity. I want you to pay attention to SHIB. Let's go over here to the numbers going straight. Actually, this is Bitcoin. You can see how we're still trading below the 200-day moving average. It's a buying opportunity for me. But when I go across, let's go down to SHIB. SHIB is saying we went up and we're maintaining a certain level. We're maintaining a certain new higher low. And I'm loving it. I'm here. I'm all about it. Up 71% for the year. I'm not mad. Even over the past 30 days, you could have made 23%. Where else are you going to do that? Just saying, people, pay attention to how things move, how things just, sway, right? You want to pay attention to the rhythm and get involved. Do your own research and start dipping in. Here's BNB chain, 91.27%. That's better than Ethereum and Bitcoin. Just saying, people missing out. Toncoin, 125%. You have a lot that are doing better than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Look at SUI. Holy moly, what? Look at these numbers. If you would have bought 90 days ago, you're up almost 150%. Tell me that's not nuts. Tell me that's not nuts. This is a top 20 coin, by the way. It's ranked number 19 on CoinMarketCap. Pay attention, folks. Pay attention. But again, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv, and I'm elated to say that we are 10,000 strong in our community and growing rapidly. growing rapidly. You know, I've had a number of people say or ask us when we're going to come out with our own coin. We're doing so much that people are like, when are you going to come out with your own coin? Make the classes payable with your own coin. And I'm like, oh, that's another project. It's another project. We do have certain things coming that are going to make people be surprised. I think that's what's going to be awesome. People are going to sit back and just go, wow. Like, wow, wow. So keep paying attention. Thank you so much for signing up. Thank you so much for becoming big baggers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all the love and support that we've been receiving. And I hope it continues, and I hope we continue to live up to your expectations. We're working hard to be it for everyone. We're not trying to sway your thoughts. We're trying to sway how you think in terms of doing your own research. That's it. I give you my opinion on the news, but really, I just want you to do well. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.